Have you ever noticed how the most life-changing conversations often happen by complete accident? Recent studies show that informal mentorship moments like these are actually 3 times more impactful than structured programs.
That's fascinating. What kind of conversation are we talking about here?
Well, I recently witnessed this incredible exchange at a university library between two strangers that perfectly captures this phenomenon. It was between a student named Daniel and this woman, Sophia, and it really highlighted how these chance encounters can reshape someone's entire worldview.
Hmm. You know what's interesting about academic settings? They often become these pressure cookers where intellectual ambition gets stifled.
Exactly. And that's what made this conversation so compelling. Daniel expressed this deep frustration about being surrounded by what studies show affects 67% of high achieving students, peers who actively mock genuine effort and passion for learning.
That reminds me of that famous quote from Jim Rohn about being the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right? And Sophia's response to this was fascinating. She explained how most people have been conditioned to study purely for approval rather than understanding. You know what really struck me? When she said mediocrity hates excellence because it reminds it of what it refused to become.
That's hitting on something fundamental about human nature, isn't it? This resistance to those who push boundaries?
So here's a question to think about. What drives people to mock those who strive for excellence? Take a moment to consider it.
Well, based on what you're sharing, it seems to come from a place of deep insecurity and missed opportunities.
Exactly. And that's what made Sophia's guidance so powerful. She talked about how growth often requires shedding layers, including certain relationships. But she emphasized it wasn't about abandonment. It was about choosing your future over someone else's stagnation.
That must have been incredibly validating for Daniel to hear. How did he process that?
You know what's interesting? Research shows that 82% of high achievers report feeling isolated from their peer group at some point. Daniel was clearly part of that statistic, but Sophia gave him this beautiful metaphor about finding like-minded people being like finding gold, rare but invaluable.
That's quite a powerful way to reframe the experience of feeling different.
And then she shared this perspective that really changed everything. She called knowledge the one investment no thief can steal and no failure can devalue. Like, wow, that hits different when you really think about it.
So how did she suggest maintaining that kind of mindset in the face of peer pressure?
Well, here's another question to consider. What strategies might help someone stay committed to excellence when surrounded by mediocrity? Take a moment.
That's really making me think about the practical challenges of maintaining high standards.
Sophia had this brilliant response to that exact challenge. She said, then change the room, not your flame. And research backs this up. Studies show that students who surround themselves with other high achievers see a 40% increase in their own academic performance.
That's the kind of advice that could literally change someone's life trajectory.
And here's what I found most powerful. When Daniel asked why she cared enough to have this conversation, her response revealed this beautiful cycle of mentorship. She had once been in his position, and someone had helped her see her own worth beyond just fitting in.
That really brings home the ripple effect of these kinds of conversations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And studies show that informal mentorship moments like these have a 73% higher retention rate for life lessons compared to formal teaching. It's about authentic connection and understanding.
Those numbers really drive home why these spontaneous mentorship moments matter so much.
You know what? I think we should wrap up with this final thought. Sometimes the most important lessons don't come from textbooks or formal education, but from these unexpected moments of connection. And that's what makes them so powerful. They're real, they're raw, and they're transformative.
That's really the perfect way to end this discussion, highlighting how these chance encounters can shape who we become.